Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. JS Dwayne here. Today's date is January the 30th, 2020, and I just want to see how everybody's doing this week. I'm doing good like usual, and I wanted to address some stuff from the last video that I made, some stuff that I left out that I'm probably going to talk about in this video for a little bit. And also I'm going to talk about my college memories video. And I think that this one is a little bit more shorter than the high school memories video because, I had a lot, on my plate when it came to my high school memories, and it was just a lot. And like, of course, everything is not going to be discussed in this video because it's just so much. And if I had the time, it probably would have been like 3 hours long. And, a lot of people probably won't, watch a full-blown 3-hour video regarding, someone talking about their high school memories because it's so long within the 4 years. It's just so long. But I wanted to touch and base with me knowing this woman, this individual who was part of my high school career. Yes, I know Deborah. I'm not going to come around here asking for clout, fame, because I can care less about that. When you say it so many different times that this individual who's related to a celebrity, I think a lot of people probably won't believe you, after you keep on repeating yourself over and over and over again. So I did this, twice. I'm just letting people know that I know Tiffany New York's female cousin Deborah. As I mentioned, they both from Syracuse, but originally from Utica. I wanted to put this out there. Very nice woman, as I mentioned in my last video that I did last night. I thought that she really helped me. Mold me into the great person that I am today. And she was around for the first two years of my high school career, my 9th and 10th grade year. And then when I came back from Rochester, she was assigned to somebody else, and very nice woman, came from a very religious background. And the most interesting part of the situation is that, I had somebody that actually believed in me and know that I can actually, make, how can I say this? Like, I could be, a very good, role model for anybody, for little boys and little girls, to strive for their best and not to get themselves in trouble. And that's what Deborah wanted me to actually do for myself. And and I did a very good job within those 2 years that I actually known her, especially 3 years, because I wasn't around her too much my senior year. But she kept positivity within my circle, and I appreciate her for doing that for me. But recently, about a couple weeks ago, I came across this obituary online. It was based in New Hartford, which is outside of Utica. I came across this obituary when I looked up, my teacher assistant's name online. I looked her up, and I came across this obituary that has this reverend's name on it. I don't know the reverend's name, but she's related to the guy. And what's really interesting was that I read through the obituary. This obituary was about back in 2018, about almost 2 years ago. I came across it last week, and I typed Deborah's name, and I already said her last name in my last video. I typed up her name, and I saw her name on the obituary, and I saw New York's name on the obituary too, Tiffany. I saw her and New York's name on the obituary, and I saw New York's father's name on the obituary too. Now referring to Tiffany New York from VH1 Flavor Flav show, and I was referring to those two individuals. But I saw their names, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was right the whole entire time. Realize that those two are related, and I did not look at the obituary before. I saw this obituary 2 weeks ago, and I put two and two together way before I saw the obituary. So yeah, they are related, and I'm just very happy that I known somebody who was very nice to me and had faith in me that I can actually do it. And strive for my best and not follow in the wrong crowd. And as I mentioned, I was a loner, back in high school, back in the early 2000s. And if anything, I don't regret, doing good in school. I think the only thing I regret the most is letting kids, target me and making fun of me. Because I won't let that mess slide today. Like, no. Because I would definitely say something to you compared to back then. Because back then I didn't really have much of a backbone. So, well, fast forward, I am in contact with my two female friends that I made in high school in Rochester. I still talk to them. They had their own families and they work. So they probably don't have really the time to, you know, touch and base with me or communicate with me. They have their own lives, but I communicate with them, and I'm not really in much contact with other peers my age. Like probably some I'm in contact through Facebook, and that's it. But we don't really talk like that, anyways. Other than that, I want to fast forward towards my college memories because my high school memories was so long ago, close to almost 15 years ago. So it's been a long time, and just probably just some things that I forgot during those 15 to 17 years of my high school career. Didn't even think that days will actually go by so fast in my life. So I'm just going to continue to my college career. After I graduated, from high school, which was in June, I graduated mid-June. That next week, I actually moved to Buffalo for my college orientation program that was only for like a month and a half. I left on my birthday. It was about a month and a half, and the program ended, on my birthday. Actually, the day before. But I had a good time. The program was about at least 6 weeks, and I made, very good friends in my college. I went to Canisius College in Buffalo. I made some decent friends there. I wasn't friends with a lot of the folks in my college. I was friends with the people that was within the HEOP program. I think it's called Higher Education Opportunity Program. I got in that program because the income that my mom had, back then, before anything happened to her. I was accepted into that program, and I had to go through a 6 week program to be accepted into the school, and I had fun. I remember, going to St. Bonaventure and Olean, New York, which is close to near Jamestown, and like that's where Lucille Ball is from. And I never been down there in Jamestown, but I did see Jamestown on the map, and actually the map quest on my phone on Google Maps. That's probably the only way I saw, Jamestown, New York. But I've been to St. Bonaventure because we had like this college fair throughout the Niagara Falls, Buffalo region. I can say like it was like so many different colleges within the Niagara region, within Western New York, and I remember we was wearing these yellow shirts. I'm not too sure if I have the shirt, but I probably do. Like all my clothes is like downstairs in a storage locker. So I probably have to go down there later at a later date. Like I have a lot of clothes like packed up, but I did have like a yellow shirt, from the time that I went to that college fair in Olean, and I had a good time, and I was able to interact with other college peers my age, and I was 19 when I went to the program, and it was like other 17 and 18-year olds that went as well, and some you were 17 by the turn 18, and there was some girls and guys that were 17 going to college, and I was 19, and the majority of the people was like 18, and some were 20, starting their freshman year. But I was 19, and this other girl was 19 too, and some other people was 18 by the turn 19 later that year, and this was 2007, and you know, it was a very fun time, and we wasn't allowed to leave the campus during this HOP orientation program. We wasn't allowed to leave. It was one guy that actually broke the rules, and he got kicked out of the program, and he wasn't accepted into Canisius College. But the program was very long. 6 weeks, but it was really fun and it was worth it. And we went to very good field trips and went to this town called Hamburg, New York, which is not far from Buffalo at all, and it's near Angola, New York too. And Dunkirk is not that far; it's probably like 20 minutes outside of Buffalo, but we had fun. And I know a girl that was from Hamburg, New York, but I'm not really in contact with her anymore. I'm not friends with her no more on Facebook. I think she got rid of me. But I went to Hamburg, and it's a very small town. It's mostly a Caucasian town, but we had a good time. And like we went to the farm there, and the museum and stuff there. And I don't know if it was like a farm or something like that. I don't remember. It's been 13 years. So I don't remember, the time that I went there, but I had to say we had a good time, and we was on the computer a lot, and we had to do assignments too. You know, it was like a college summer school, if you ask me. It was like a college summer school, because I went to summer school all my life until I was about 15 years old, and I didn't go to summer school anymore after that because I think summer school, for the high schoolers is going there for Regents exams because in New York State, you got to take Regents exams to graduate from high school, and the people that fail Regents exams get local diplomas. But I graduated with a Regents diploma. But other than that, you know, it was like it was like a college summer school, and you know like before I even got myself into college, I never did any trigonometry classes, and I didn't learn trigonometry until I actually got into college. That next year because my sophomore year was in 2008, and I actually went to college for like a couple years. Like I only went to college for a couple years, 2 years, and I withdrew was because my mom passed away, and it was another reason that I can't expose on YouTube. I can't tell the other reason because it's very personal, and I can't expose that type of information on here because it's public and everybody's gonna know, and it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's a very messed up situation, and I'm not gonna talk about it on social media or YouTube or Facebook. I'm not gonna do that on social media platform because it's not appropriate and it's very private. But that was the two main reasons why I withdrew from college. And during that time, I was completely homesick, and I was away from my family, and my mom, she was having a lot of health problems, and my father, he was working all day, so I didn't really talk to him like that anyways. And this is way before I moved back to Rochester, because I moved back to Rochester living with my father in '09. I moved back to where he lived, and then actually left Syracuse in 2008, moving to Rochester, and I was only in Rochester for like a few weeks until I actually went back to college. I was only there until like August, about 2 months, and I don't count that because I was only there, for a break, a college break, a summer break. Because, college starts in August and ends in May. It's the same thing down in South Carolina schools. They start school in August, ends in May. Like all city schools in the South starts around that time, and we start in September and we end in June. So it was very different, but I actually loved going to college in August. It was a very fun experience, going during that time. And, I did 2 years, and I'm not too sure if I want to go back to college in a public setting or do online school because I actually went to college for finance, and I haven't really got my finance degree yet. So I don't know if I want to do online school or go back to actual school itself. But I would make that decision because I want to finish school before I turn 35, and I'm not that far from 35, and I'm not gonna really rush my life that like that anyways. But I do want to finish my degree because I remember my mother. She was telling me before she passed away that Dwayne, you should finish school and and don't quit. And I remember that, and that's still in my conscience even to this day. and this was 2009. She told me to finish school. I think my mom knew, I was gonna withdraw because of the stuff that was going on, during that time, and you know, I was having family problems and family issues that I don't want to discuss on here. But she told me that, and then it's still within my conscious, even to this day. I really wanted to finish my college degree and open up my business, one day. And I hope that whenever I open up my own business, I hope that I be very successful. And I don't even think I needed my college degree to open up my own business. Most businesses they start low and then it goes straight up afterwards. So it's a process, and I hope that God be able to listen to what I want to say right now, and I hope He listens and see what happens. Never say never, but I hope that I go back and finish my college degree, and I look as young as the college kids in the school, so and I could fit within them, but we're very different ages, so I probably won't really relate to most 18-year-olds nowadays. Like I went to college when I was 19. I was in high school at 18 and 19 years old. So, and I got my foot into Canisius when I was about to turn 19 during that year. So I was 19, about to turn 20. So I was 18 really when I got into my college in Buffalo. But I don't want to go back to my college. Most of the people that I went to college with is not really there anymore. And I don't want to go to school in Rochester. I probably want to go somewhere different. I haven't really made my mind up yet. But yes, I guess I was like a neat freak in college, and I really enjoyed the college experience. I was able to go out whenever I wanted to go out and go to the mall, go to the clubs, go to the restaurants, and go around in the city. I've been in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and I've been in Niagara Falls, New York. I've been in both Niagara Falls, and like I almost got arrested that one year, like in 2008, and this is way before they stopped having birth certificates, IDs, and social security cards. Um, they stopped that in 2009, like June 1st. They stopped those three identifications. I don't know why they did it, but in order for you to get to Canada, you was able to bring a birth certificate, your ID, and your social security card. Like it was easier back then, but now you have to bring your passport. And I think sometimes people have their passport card, which I never heard before, but now they have passport cards, and I heard they cost about $30 to $40. But I prefer a regular passport to go there. But in order for you to go to Canada back then, you was able to bring a passport, and you was able to bring a birth certificate, your ID, and your social security card. You was able to do that back then, but now you can't do that now to go to Canada. And Canada is a very nice country. It reminds me too much of America, but it reminds me of America, but it's very different, and it's just so many different cultures and ethnicities and cultures in Canada. And like one day I would love to actually go to Canada and explore, but I have to have a passport, and a passport costs over $130. But I remember when I told my mother when I was in college that I went to Canada without no identification. My mom said to me, my mom said, I'm not gonna pick you up either. You probably gonna be living there and starting a new life there because I'm not gonna get you out of jail. And that really scarred me when she said that, but my mom was 100% serious, during that time. And I learned my lesson. But I went to Canada again, two different times. And when I went the first time, it was 2008. It was late 2008. It was like October, and it was very cold. Like the fall there is so cold, and it was raining, and it felt like snow. It was so cold. My hands was like hurting, and we had those T-Mobile Motorola phones, those flip phones. Like I had the gray one. They had the pink and the gray ones. I didn't like the pink, so I had like the gray ones. And then like we had, and then then that next year I had a green phone, this Sony Ericsson, and I lost that phone in the bathroom, so I couldn't really find the phone anymore. So like those phones were awesome back in the day, like very awesome. And I brought it with my own money that I had from my old job at Kmart back in the day. But I was in style back in my college days. I really was, and I had a very good time, and I went to college parties, and I went to clubs. I went to the club. Oh my gosh, Marcello's in Buffalo, which is a gay club. Like I had a very good time, during back then, and I don't regret those fun days. I wish it was some stuff that I didn't do. Trying to be desperate when it comes to dating somebody, because I did date somebody in Buffalo. During my college, career. I was in a relationship, and yes, I'm still in contact with my ex, but I haven't really spoke to him in about a few years. But I hope that me and my friend who used to be my ex, I hope we reconnect with one another one day, hang out and stuff like that. Do I have feelings for my ex? No. I guess we just in different. I guess we're in a different times of our life now. Like we're in a different we're in very different parts of our lives now. So I don't mind being friends, but I'm not really friends with my exes because I don't think that's a good idea. I'm probably like I'm only friends with two of them, and that's it. Because I'm not in contact with none of them. But yes, I'm friends with some of my college friends. I'm not gonna say their names, but I'm friends with a couple females and some males. That's it. Less than 8 people from my college career, my college days, and I was really young when I went to college, and like I came out of high school, with my head so full of high school mentality. Like I didn't even transition to college one until my sophomore year, and if I didn't withdraw, I probably would have been full college mode back then. But I feel like I'm in a different time. I'm at a different part of my life where I'm ready to go back, and I think I'm be able to be more determined, and I think I'll be able to be more disciplined and more concrete when it comes to college. I'll be able to listen a little more compared to back when I was a 19-year-old and 20-year-old boy. Even though I was legally a man, I was a boy, and I'm 32 years old now, and I think that I'd be able to handle college because I feel like I'm more in a mature type of aspect than I was back then. I feel like I wasn't really ready during that time frame. So I'm gonna say that it was not bad, but college work was very stressful, and it just took a lot out of you. But I think I'll be able to handle it this time around, and the dorms was large, it was awesome, and I had some messy roommates, and like I almost got in trouble trying to clean up the room because I don't like a dirty room. It's just nasty, and I don't like living with roommates like that. Like if I even had my own apartment now, I won't even if I had my own actual apartment, because you know I actually have my own apartment, but I just wouldn't want a roommate because I just refused to have a dirty room. I just couldn't do it. It was just so much to deal with, back then. And then I almost got in trouble cleaning up the room and everything. It was glass and cups and utensils out over the counters and stuff out over the floor. It was just nasty, and I just couldn't do that. And they wasn't bold enough to confront me about it. But I was just a neat freak back then, and I'm not gonna change my actions neither. I just don't like a dirty dorm room. It's just nasty. Like, get yourself together and clean up. It's not that much of a big deal whatsoever. Like, come on now. It's not that deep. But at my age now, I'm not moving back to no dorm. Not doing it. I would have my own house or my own apartment, and I could commute from, my home to college, or I can do online school. I'll have to pick or choose, but it wouldn't bother me at the end of the day. But I had fun, and I don't mind doing college, again at a different pace. And yes, I got two. I think I have about 2 years left in my college career. I think I have 2 years left, and after that, I get my bachelor's, and I'll be on my way. So I wanted to say, that was all for my college memories, and I thought that this one probably would have been a lot shorter than my high school one, but I realized it was very long too, and and when I was in college, Obama was president. When the end of 2008 happened, Obama was president because when I got in college, George Bush was president, and then Obama got elected the next year, and he served in the White House in 2009. So Obama was president when I was in college. So now we have to deal with that 45. But that's what the day I remember, and I ran around the hall that day when I found out Obama was president, and that's what I remember. And I told that guy who was like, "Oh no, oh McCain is gonna be president." I said Obama's gonna be president, and little did he know I was right the whole entire time. So can't really complain about that. And I haven't been to college in about 11 years. I was like 21 the last time I went, so I can't wait to go again, sooner or later. And as I realize it's never too late to go back to college. I think that then I be in a different pace than I was back then, and I think I'll be able to handle it and I'll be more mature. So I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it. All right, guys. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for hearing me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Much love to everybody, and you guys have a very good night. All right, good day, people. And also, I'm probably going to upload this video tomorrow because tonight is my live. So I'm probably going to upload this tomorrow on the 31st in the morning because I probably have to edit everything out, for the video to be more suitable. All right. Peace.